Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Bish with us tonight. Mike is always hot because that's just the kind of media people we are. We're the scum of the earth, and we always try to get the dirt on folks. Uh, Welcome to TECN TV. That's not true. That's not true. That's not my show. The Exceptional Conservative Show. Chris Bish running in the 6th Congressional District of California A. Uh, Financial investigator, realtor extraordinaire, and she shouldn't right now even be running for office. This is how patriotic this great woman is, and I want to give her the opportunity to tell her one of the most moving stories that you will hear from any politician who's running for office right now. Chris, why are you running for office, and how are you running for office after all you've been through?
Well, we'll get into everything I've been through in a little bit, but yeah, I felt a calling because there just a lot of things are going on and on this planet, and someone's got to do it. Someone's got to stand up and stand up for the people. If I wanted to live in Washington, D.C., I would live in Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. I want to live in California, and we've been neglected. We haven't been represented. We've got a lot of problems out here. Just beyond the stuff you see on TV, the homeless crisis. We've got a dictator in training, Governor Newsom out here. We got a lot of things going on, and we've got a president that is doing his best. He's not a perfect man. There was only one perfect man, but he's doing the right thing, and he's doing it for us. And he needs a Congress that wants to work, that wants to negotiate, that wants to fix this country, not just obstruct, call names, and try and tear our country down. We got to build it up. This is the most wonderful country on the planet. And with all of our rights, everyone screams and carries on about their rights. But with those rights come responsibility, and I'll take care of those rights and take responsibility to make sure that our country is taken care of.
Chris, there are those tonight who...
I can't hear you.
Let me do this the right way. Hold up. Let me try that. All right. Hopefully this will work. There are those tonight who are listening to you, and they don't understand that when an individual wants to run for office, sometimes the biggest, pole they have to jump over, or rod they have to jump over, is their own political party. When you started to run for office, what was the first thing that you were told?
I was told it's not your turn. That was like a ollie ollie oxen free, or I double dog dare you. I was like, really? Okay. Well, what is it my turn to do? And who are you to decide whose turn is it? So I walked out of there and told them I was thinking about running for Congress, and that was the most motivational part about the GOP is. Local office told me it wasn't my turn, and I decided it was.
There you go.
And I think I've been pushed a little. Great things have happened as I've been on this journey running for Congress. Everything just seems to be falling in place. Everything happens for a reason. So I think I got a good shot, and I got the big guy helping me, and I'm not talking about Donald Trump.
There you go. I think you're going to be excellent. You're running out of Sacramento, and the bottom line is that most people, when they come across urban races, until the latter part of the Trump administration, thought, that's a waste of time of any interest. It's real cute if you're Kimberly Klacik and can strut in high heels in a video. That's nice, that's cute, but you're not going to make any real changes in urban America. I want to get your thoughts in terms of, along with your motivations for running, why Americans need to really start thinking about the inner cities in urban America.
That is, there's so many different issues. Yeah, we're all people.
Yeah.
And her strutting around in her high heel shoes, it was pretty. It made an impact. It got everybody oohing and on. But if you have ever lived in that area, you understand that those urban areas have been under Democrat control. This isn't about President Trump, um, like they'd want you to believe. It's not about government money, because we've been throwing money at the inner city, at homelessness, and just everything that's wrong. It's money, money, money. People have lost their heart.
Yeah.
We've taken pride and religion and personal responsibility out of everything. And if you want to look at the cities, hold on. You want to look at our urban cities, it's how not to run our country. How's that?
Very well
That
said.
that's how not to do it.
Exactly. Now, you're championing the cause of winning against Doris Matsui, and we'll talk about her in just a few moments. But
Oh,
you've
if you can
already
talk to her, that would be great. She doesn't talk to
she
anybody.
doesn't talk to anybody. Exactly. She doesn't have to. She's a linchpin in terms of the Democrat machine. But
I
in
think the
this,
term Judicial Watch was ringleader.
yeah.
We'll get into that too.
Yes, she is. We're going to talk about her in just a moment, but I want to
Okay.
get to the personal point here because that connects with people in the sense that you're not just running because you're one of the most brilliant women I've talked to. That you are a behemoth when it comes to discipline on financial matters and real estate and things of that nature. But you also are a tigress when it comes to your own personal health uh, and overcoming the challenges to that to become a tremendous candidate in urban America. If you could tell everyone, what challenge did you face after being told by the Republicans that it wasn't your turn to run for office?
Well, my challenges actually came before, because I had just had cancer surgery a couple months before, going over to the GOP, and everything, timing. It's all about timing, and it's just a weird place in history that we're in. We're going to look back and just say, "Wow, I'm glad it's over," but it's a weird place. Um, I had just had kidney surgery because I had kidney cancer, and so they removed my kidney. I was recovering from surgery and went down to the GOP because I was kind of mad at my representative for not talking to me about what I think caused my cancer. I went down there and told him how angry I was and what my motivation was, and I was told it wasn't my turn, that I might want to try school board or maybe a water board or something like that. And I was like, I was kind of a motivator, so I picked myself up. I went down to the voter registrar and found out the time and everything I needed to pick up my paperwork to run for Congress. And it was, I guess it was the middle of September. I picked up my paperwork. I just had cancer surgery in May. And so I'm standing out in front of Walmart collecting signatures to recall our local governor, Governor Newsom. and was asking people if they would please sign my petition to run for Congress.
Now, Chris, a lot of people would think, okay, you hung out at the Republican Party Club in the Walmart, that section that's just for Republicans, and 400 Republicans came by and they all signed your sheet. Is that exactly how that happened?
Oh, definitely not. I was at a Walmart, and it's kind of the Bermuda Triangle. It's right where Antelope, Rio Linda, and North Islands come together, and there's some seedier parts over there, but and its services some low income neighborhoods around, but it's a really diverse neighborhood. A lot of good people. This is not uh, a predominantly white clientele that goes to that Walmart. Black, Hispanic, Russian, you name it, but it has a lot of traffic, and it's just the place that I thought would be the best place for me to go. It's a place that I like to shop. I like the people there. And so I was out in front of this Walmart collecting signatures, and I had some friends helping me at some other places get signatures. But I only needed 40 to qualify for the ballot, and I believe it was like 485 signatures that I was able to collect, and it wasn't all Republicans. I had some lovely African American women. They told me, do you want to recall the governor? Well, no, ma'am, we don't. And I said, well, I'm running for Congress. Would you give me a shot? And well, no, we can't do that, but let us pray for you. And they put their hands on me and prayed for me out in front of that Walmart. And then they signed my petition. So I guess they got touched.
God is an awesome
But
God. Listen,
he is, and he did some wonderful things and introduced me to some great people, and that's what this whole campaign is about. I am meeting wonderful people from every walk of life, race, religion, you name it, and it's all been great.
Doris Matsui, I don't
Yes,
know how often you may have run into her in your district.
nobody does.
Okay. And can you tell us about Doris Matsui in this particular case, who is supposed to be one of the higher ups and more powerful women in Congress, the Democrat in the 6th Congressional District? Can you tell us a little bit about Doris Matsui?
Oh, Doris, when you look at Doris, you think, wow, that must be the sweetest looking little grandma you ever saw. Well, more, oh no, she's not a good person. Uh, she worked in the Clinton White House. Her husband was in Congress, and I've heard he did good things, and I won't speak ill of the dead. But he didn't live here either. They bought their house in Maryland in on June 19th, 1979, and all that time when she was in Washington, uh, you know, things happened, and she ended up working at the Clinton White House. According to Judicial Watch, she was the ringleader for the Chinese money laundering scam in the Clinton White House. It took Judicial Watch 3 years to depose her. Um, and you don't get in with the Clintons, start out as a volunteer on the transition team, and end up running one of their money laundering scams unless you've got some serious connections and you're willing to do some evil deeds.
Exactly. And for the good of the
Exactly.
people, can you speak of anything that she's done legitimately since she's been in office, replacing her husband? Is there anything that you can point to in terms of legislation, tax appropriation? What has she done since she's been in Congress?
She has a thing for the cruise ship industry. She really doesn't like the cruise ship industry. Now, mind you, we are 90 miles from the ocean. It's not like, we're a port for Princess Cruise Lines, but even during all this COVID stuff, she's against cruise lines getting money. That's I don't know. Maybe she got bad lobster.
There you
She
go.
got a tummy bug on a cruise. There's something personal going on because That's her deal, is cruise lines.
Exactly. Now, in digression, back to your kidney surgery, um, is there something that she may have overlooked that contributed to your medical condition?
It wasn't overlooked, it was completely ignored.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm out here. It was by her. It was by her husband. Um, you got to remember, people like that, they don't care about people. They don't care about who they hurt. It's about money, it's about power, and it's about status. Us little people, we don't matter. Our lives are no more valuable than the single vote we have to offer. Period. Don't be mistaken by anything else. So what's going on here? It's something that's going on all over our country. We see it going on in Flint, Michigan, and that's water contamination.
Yes.
I live near an Air Force base, McClellan Air Force Base, and everybody knows that there's problems at these Air Force bases. But uh, that was one of the Air Force bases that was closed by the Clintons when they went all the budget cuts. Well, it turns out in my area, I'm not right near the Air Force base. I'm a ways out, but the contamination has gotten into the groundwater. So in my little community where I live in Antelope and neighboring communities, we have 10 wells that service our community. 7 of those wells are closed for chromium-6 contamination. The 3 remaining wells have acceptable levels of contamination.
Wow.
And and it was all just a weird series of events. I found this by accident waiting for a client that didn't show up on a real estate deal, and just surfing on my phone, found the lawsuit, called the water district, and they said, don't worry about it. Trust us. You know, the water you're drinking out of those 3 wells, it's not that contaminated. It's not going to hurt you. And, and this is the end of March of 2019, April 10th, 2019. I'm diagnosed with kidney cancer.
Wow.
So, yeah, and it motivated me. So, I went in, had the cancer surgery. I knew that, either I was going to make it or I wasn't. My life was in the hands of the doctor and the Lord. So I was okay. I didn't shed a tear. It was okay. No matter what, it was okay. And they were able to get all of the cancer. I only lost a third of my right kidney.
Mm.
And while I'm laying in bed recovering, and they got me on all the pain medication, I'm watching the news and I see Doris there, and all she's talking about is obstruction and Russia, 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 and we're not going to do anything because of the values coming out of this White House. And I'm laying there, and this is the end of May, and enough. I called her, I wrote letters, I messaged her, I did everything. I couldn't even get the courtesy of a form letter. And that's when I decided I was going to run. So I went down there. I was still had, stitches, some pretty deep stitches. They had to go in there and remove my kidney, and they went through the front. And I went down to the GOP, told them I was running, and and then they sealed the deal. I was definitely going to run. And then I was out there still recovering from my cancer surgery, collecting signatures. And I've been driven. This is a blessing.
Exactly.
And I'm getting energy and putting in 16-hour days and all the stuff. I don't know how our president does it. I guess he's got a big staff. But I'm doing it, and I'm going to win. And I'm going to bring back some civility to California. But make no mistake, if I have to mix it up, I will,
Chris,
because this is not a game.
we love the tenacity that you possess. I want to ask you because one of the things I wanted to talk with you about tonight was law and order. There is a great deal of concern about what happened in Compton over the weekend with the assassination attempt of the 2 police deputies. Many Americans are watching what's happening in Portland. They're watching what happens in Los Angeles. There are some concerns about Oregon and Northern California fires being set by Antifa and Black Lives Matter. it's alleged, although the FBI and others will not confess that that's the truth. I have to ask you, with all of this unrest going on, what agenda do you have in terms of bringing healing to the nation at large?
Okay. Law and order. California, under this governor and a Democrat controlled legislature, they're decriminalizing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and because of COVID, they've used it as an excuse to release the jails. It's almost a perfect storm with the Antifa and all the trouble. You've got people out of work, they're in despair. Then you put the lack of education even before they closed the schools, because they weren't educating them, they were indoctrinating them.
Yes.
Uh, and you create this unrest, people, and you've taken away all hope. There's no church, there's no jobs, there's no school, so there's no future. And you've got them in a place where they don't care about history, and we all know that if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Yes.
So they have these just bizarre versions of what they think history is. Then they want to remove all signs of it. We as Republicans, we are to blame for this. We have to accept responsibility, and that's a lot for people to swallow. But the truth is, Republicans have said back, well, no religion in school. Well, we still take our kids to church. You can't have religion in the courthouse, and we have let the Democrats and the liberals, because not all Democrats are liberals, but all liberals are Democrats. Um, we've just let them take a little bit at a time and a little bit at a time, because it didn't affect my life. My school is good. My neighborhood is good. My church is good. My job is good. My. And now with the COVID coming in, all of a sudden it's all wow, we let this happen. And now we have a lot of messes to fix because we let them do it. And it's going to start at the not only with me going to Congress, helping to get legislation that's going to cause education reform, tax reform, health care or health insurance, not so much health care, health insurance reform. And it's going to be electing people. We've got an election coming up. It's look who you're voting for school board. We've got a lot of fixing to do, and it's gonna have to happen at every level. And I'm going to tell other conservatives out there, if you haven't voted, if you haven't run for office, and I'm guilty as well because I let this happen, you have the responsibility to help me fix it.
There you
And
go.
that means going out and voting, running for office, working on a campaign, because we were idle and let this happen. Now it's our job to fix it.
Bish for Congress, the number four Congress. Want to ask you very quickly: teachers unions have obstructed education, in my belief, and have basically given a group of demands likened unto terrorists. Uh, our children, are they lost in this particular school year? What do you suggest in terms of federal funding? Should it be removed from the public schools until they open the schools back up?
Well, you see, Congress controls the purse, but the president has amazing power here if he chooses to exercise it. Do you remember when Ronald Reagan fired all the air traffic controllers?
Yes, I do.
Yes, we do. So he has a whole lot of power. But I do believe, and we're actually working on a third lawsuit out here in California. And I have grandchildren. I have 6 grandchildren that are in school.
Really?
And well, yes, I do. I have 6 grandchildren.
You look
And
so young.
some oh well, thank you. But something amazing happened with COVID. So for my daughter that lives here in California, I have another one in Washington. The kids were supposed to start school, And a couple of days before school was supposed to start, the school board held a secret meeting, and no one was allowed to attend or listen in, and there was no warning. And they decided they were going to close the school because of COVID. Then they sent an email out to all the parents and said, well, we're going to close the schools. Your kids are going to have to do Zoom learning. Like, we're going to have a preschooler and a kindergartner do Zoom learning. And you, as the parents, are going to be required to spend a minimum of 3 hours per day with each child. And it was like I hit the jackpot. I just heard the bells going off in my head, and I said, you realize, to my daughter, I said, you realize you just got hired by the school district to be a substitute teacher?
Yeah.
And that in California, substitute teachers make between $125 and $160 a day? And you just got hired to be a substitute teacher. And that silly old school board, they didn't even think about that. And, for my daughter, it's okay because she's not a convicted felon. But I think the school board is going to have a few problems when they think about all those parents that aren't qualified to be substitute teachers, the ones with
Exactly.
criminal records.
Chris, and I really endorse you as the candidate of choice in that 6th congressional district, and praying that you win. I want you to come back in a couple of weeks because your agenda, your strategy for winning is so very important. It's not enough for us to focus on one or two races around the country. If you're going to win back the nation, you're going to have to win the inner cities. You're going to have to win back Antelope. You're going to have to win back Los Angeles and other cities throughout California. And that doesn't happen when you sit on the sidelines and wish things were different. You got to actually make the change. How can people be a part of your campaign? How can people get in contact with you and support your rush to judgment on November the 3rd?
Okay, so I'm going to tell this to everyone in the country that's listening. You do not have to live in California. You do not have to live in my district to want to be a part of this campaign. Because what you've got to understand is, well, I will be representing District 6 of California when I get to Washington, D.C. The decisions I make, the bills that I back, the laws that I author, they are going to affect you. You in New York, you in Tennessee, you in Texas. So that's why this district makes a difference. And this is a winnable district. I'm up against a lady who doesn't even live in California. She lives in Maryland. So with that, you can go to bishforcongress.com. That's BISH for FOR Congress.com. You can find me at Bish for Congress on Twitter and on PolitiChat and on Facebook. You can donate. I have an email address, which is Bish, the number 4 Congress at gmail.com. You can reach out and find me. And, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. I'm a real estate agent, have my own office. So I've spent the last 16 years putting my cell phone number on the internet. So believe it or not, I do answer my phone and you can call me. But the campaign office is 916-772-0102. But the best place to donate, get more information for me, volunteer, no matter where you are, Minnesota, Utah, Oklahoma, you can make phone calls for me, help me reach the people in my congressional district of Sacramento and West Sacramento and the surrounding area. And our campaign slogan is "Send a Bish to Congress," because I'm just the Bish to get things done.
You're just the right Bish for America.
Yes.
That's going to be, actually, I think that might be a better tagline than "Make America Great."
Uh,
send, a,
yeah.
send a real
Well,
Bish to
the
Congress.
T-shirts all say "Bish, please."
I love it. I love it. Listen, we're going to have you back in a few weeks because I really
Okay.
believe in you, and I think your campaign is going to be demonstrably important. I know that there are people who are trying to show the inner city, um, but it's not just one person. There are a number of great candidates out there. You are one of those that can change America if given the opportunity. And like you stated, it's a winnable race. There are too many of these that are just so winnable, and no one even tries. Chris, thank you
Yeah,
so
and
much.
that's just it. Nobody even tries. And for candidates that get the response that I got, running for office isn't easy. And then you go to the party of choice. And I'm not big on parties. Yeah, I know who
Yeah,
I identify with, and that's the system we've got to work with. But when they walk in there and tell you it's not your turn, I say, anybody out there, get fired up. And if you need some encouragement, reach out to me. I don't care where you are. I'll encourage you. I'll kick you in the rear, and I'll even kick you down some money. If
yeah,
you're willing to take on the job of running, God help you and may he bless you, because as much of a headache is, it's rewarding. It's wonderful. I can't imagine a different path in my life right now.
and we love it. Listen, also the other thing, America, this is why you need to donate to her campaign, because her one of her senior congressmen may actually end up being Speaker of the House, McCarthy, and she will have a significant pull on that particular ring right there, ladies and gentlemen, right out of California. We can win these urban races. I mean, you got the pandemic, people are unemployed, they're unhappy, they don't like what their Democrat tyrant has done to them, they want their lives back. And these are the individuals that we'll be presenting over the next few weeks that can make that happen for America. Thank
And
you.
and I can tell you, I have not been elected to office yet, and I am already fighting for the people of California. I have filed a lawsuit against the governor of California, and so far we're winning. That's why we're allowed to have peaceful protests out at the Capitol. Is Gavin Newsom, the dictator in chief here in California? He knows who I am and that I'm after him. Aunt Nancy's not too happy with me either, and so we have to take down her best buddy, Doris Matsui, and we're going to take our country back.
We
We're going to
will.
take California back. It's time for a change, and that's not just lip service.
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
do what I say I'm going to do.
She's a real Bish. Trust me on that one, ladies and gentlemen. And just the type of woman that we really need in Washington, D.C. Chris Bish, ladies and gentlemen, Bish for Congress, FOR or the number 4, whichever way. Make certain that you make your donation $1, $5, $50, $100, no matter what you do. And she is an endorsed candidate of TECN
Yes.
TV. She has received the endorsement of the
Thank
chairman
you.
and president of TECN TV. Yours truly, the exceptional one, Kim McClinton. So there you go. It should mean something.
Thank you.
We'll send you the big check with very few numbers on it.
I'll
God
take
bless you,
pennies
Chris.
at this point. They all count.
Chris, we love you. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. We look forward to you coming back in a couple of weeks. We want to talk with you about winning the 6th Congressional District. God bless you.
Thank you, sir, and everybody. Good night, and God bless you, and God bless America.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to encourage you, as I normally do when clients and candidate, well, they're not clients, when candidates come on the air, um, that you take a moment and just copy and paste the individual's name. Now, you all know that Facebook is sweating me like a dog in a sauna. And quite frankly, they do not want me broadcasting or promoting great candidates like this. So I'm going to need your help. I need an army of messengers. Send Chris Bish name out there to the world. And so that she can get the dollars and cents that she needs, so that she can get the campaign structure that she needs, so that she can get people calling from around the world on the behalf of that great city of Antelope. And as well, that great district, the 6th Congressional District. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more of the best in urban conservative talk. I happen to be yours truly, the exceptional one, Ken McClinton, TECN TV president. We are the best in urban conservative news, talk, and movies. And we are not a democracy. We are a republic. What a great conversation with none other than Chris Bish. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, right after this.